So thinking about the individuals, and when you're looking at an entrepreneur, what are some of the most successful traits and attributes of an entrepreneur? Because you've been around so many, and you've researched and studied.
Oh yeah, no, I figure I've seen like 10,000 business plans. Well, you know, the entrepreneurs I have the most respect for, what I call the great entrepreneurs, are the ones who really build great enterprises. You know, there's so much a thing about exits now, and you know, if it had been up to me, I would still be running Bookstop. You know, Hoover's I might still be, you know, but I had investors. The minute you take outside money, the games change. I have other friends who have kept voting control. Their companies haven't grown as fast, and still have them. So Bill Gates never wanted out of Microsoft. Not when he retired, he began selling the stock and giving all his money away. Steve Jobs, you know, and I remember sitting with a good friend of mine, a very wealthy, successful entrepreneur, and somebody came up and said, we're building this company, we want you to invest in, and we're going to sell it to Intel in 6 years. And my friend said, count me out. I have absolutely no interest. I've never written a business plan with an exit strategy. And I mean, the students at business school, how can you do that, you know? Well, if you focus your energy on building something that's great, on building something that's worthwhile, on building something that makes your customers' lives better, whether they're business customers or consumers, you know, yeah, B2C, B2B, whatever, you're going to have something of value. And you're going to have so many options, whether it's take it public, whether it's sell it, whether it's keep it and pay dividends. That's worked for a lot of companies for a lot of years, you know. And the thing is, folks, I've sat on boards of directors and said, well, we're going to sell the company. So, you know, the chief marketing officer, the CFO just quit. So let's not bother recruiting their replacement because, you know, we'll save X 100,000 or whatever the number is on our P&L, and it'll look. And it's like, and then, you know, 80% of the time the deals fall through or don't happen or whatever the percentage is, but it's very high. And then all of a sudden you're, oh man, look, we're not hitting our numbers. We need a chief CMO or a CFO or whatever you didn't replace.
Right.
It's just nuts, you know. You've got to build a great enterprise. And that comes from a passion. You know, you study, I'll pick again on John Mackey, my friend that founded Whole Foods Market. You know, I met him. He had one store doing about $10 million a year, and he's nuts. He's a semi-hippie health food nut. And I'm a Coca-Cola man, and he's like, get that out of my sight. You know, still is, unchanged. Well, he's unchanged today. Absolutely.
But he had a passion for what he was doing.
He's never backed off, and he took that thing up to 13, 14, 15 billion dollars, both in revenues and in the company, the value of the company. And you see it over and over when you study the greats. So that driving passion, you know, that a lot of them can do every job in the company. Yeah. I mean, delegation, you obviously can't succeed without teams and all that. You obviously can't succeed without other people and without delegating. But at the same time, I could probably do 90% of the jobs at the bookstore chain. I could probably do well over half of them at Hoover's. Some not as well as other people. So then you go find other people doing better. When you can't do a job well at all, you find somebody to fill it, but they don't have to be an employee. I mean, I've had companies where my attorney was really my partner in so many ways. It can be the finance people, the marketing, the technical, obviously, the programmers. But being in touch, that's one thing I see it's missing so often. When I worked for May Department Stores Company, big department store chain, later now became part of Macy's. And one of my projects as a young analyst was to analyze whether we should buy a corporate jet, because our CEO was flying first class around the country and stores coast to coast. And of course, his argument is, hey, I'm going to save so much time. In fact, when they finally got his jet, they had to hire 2 teams of pilots because he would start out at 6 in the morning and go till 2 the next morning.
Flying around the country.
Flying around, hitting the stores. Oh, yeah, no, and he was amazing. But I remember telling my friends, I didn't bother telling him because I knew it wouldn't make a difference. But I said, look, he is now going to lose his last connection with the customer. Because the only time the most likely time he would talk to the average woman who was spending money on clothing, which was the guts of our business, was sitting next to somebody on a commercial airliner.
Okay.